Hey, wonderful people. It is Mark here from Not Defining This, and I hope you're doing so well. Today, I wanted to give you a comprehensive guide to coming out as a bisexual person or someone on the bi plus spectrum. I work with hundreds of bi people all the time in my coaching, and I really wanted to share all of the best practice that I have learnt, not only from my professional life, but also from my own lived experience as a bi person, and I hope that it is helpful. So let's get straight into it. The first thing and the most important thing is to be safe. A lot of the time we talk about coming out and everyone's like, oh, you should come out, you should talk to people. No, if you don't feel safe, and you will know that in yourself, in your instinct, you do not have to come out, okay? The second tip that I would give you is, rather than telling people that you're bisexual, start on the inside and start with you. What is it about your life right now that you would like to change? What would you like to do that you can't do now? What would you like to be able to express that you can't express now? What things would you like to experience? What feelings would you like to feel? What type of people would you like to hang around with? What is it that coming out actually is going to mean for you and your life? And write that all down on a piece of paper. Okay, so for example, I was actually married to a woman when I came out as bi, and really I wanted to come out as bi because I wanted to be open with other people so that I could be visible, so that I could be a role model. My wife already knew, right? So that wasn't an issue. But it was really about expressing that, and I wanted to be able to go to Pride. I wanted to be able to engage with my community and share my story. So that was my reasoning for coming out, right? It might be different for other people. Yeah, you might want to actually date men or women. You might want to wear different clothes and express your queerness. It might be. So just think about what are the actual building blocks of this and what do you actually want to be able to do, and then take each one, okay, and think to yourself, what do I have to do to enable myself to do those things, okay? And it might be that you don't actually have to announce your identity to everybody that you know. It might just be that you speak to your partner. It might just be that you speak to a friend. It might just be that you come out to a certain group of people, but leave the rest. Yeah? So think about what it means for you and what do you actually want to do that you can't do now, and build from there. Okay? By the way, if you would like support in doing this, then you can come and get one-on-one coaching from me. I would be delighted to help you in your journey. You can go to notdefining.com and you can book a session with me. Similarly, if you would like to speak to other people who are going through this, we've got a wonderful Patreon community. It's patreon.com/notdefining. We have group sessions, loads of extra content, and you can also text chat with me 24 hours a day. So come and be with your community. There's loads of support around you. Don't struggle alone. Okay? The next thing that I would really recommend is to come out to yourself first. Okay? There's going to be a reason why you're not out, right? Of course, there's always a reason why we hide our sexuality or our identity. Normally that's because society has told us this and that, or parents or family or whatever, yeah? So for almost all of us, there is going to be a degree of shame. There's going to be a degree of anxiety. There's going to be a degree of perhaps self-loathing or parts of us that we feel are not enough or not acceptable, yeah, or not good enough. And so what I would suggest is really meet that part of you. Spend time sitting with that part of you that you have kept hidden. Just think about, what is that version of me that I've been afraid of? Okay, what is that part of me that I have been afraid of? Yeah, and every single day, just check in with that part of you and direct compassion to it, direct love to it. Yeah, nurture it, treat it kindly. Okay, I have a video which goes through this technique in detail. You can check it out here. And the reason I suggest this is because a lot of the time we come out in principle, yeah, i.e. we tell people our identity, but then nothing in our life actually changes because we are still hiding that part of ourselves. So you might say, I'm bisexual, but actually there's a part of you, let's say you're a man, there's a part of you that really wants to act in a more feminine way. And actually you're still repressing that part because you're still ashamed of it. Okay, so that's why I say, think about what it is that you've been hiding and what it is that you want to actually be able to express and actually connect with that. And that is the thing that you want to bring out. Okay, it's not about saying I'm bisexual or writing something on Facebook to family and friends. So the next thing to think about is your boundaries. Okay, so you've connected with that part of you that's been hidden. You've thought about how you want to let that be expressed, what you want to do with that, and how you want that to show up. The next thing is to communicate with other people in your life about how you're going to create that safe boundary to enable you to do that. So the boundaries are about, what am I now going to accept and what am I not going to accept? Yeah, what am I now going to tell people about who I am and how I want to live? What things that I allowed in my life, yeah, maybe judgment, maybe criticism, maybe shame. What things am I actually not now going to accept? What am I pushing out of my life to make way for this new version of me? And then the most important part is, if people break those boundaries, what am I going to do? Okay, what am I going to do? So an example from my life, I used to hate being in spaces where people would make casual queerphobic comments. And because I wasn't out, I couldn't really address them in the way that I wanted to. I tried to be an ally, but it just wasn't the same. And so one of my boundaries when I came out was, I do not expect to hear queerphobia around me. And then if I do hear it, I am going to either stand up to it or I'm going to move away from those people or those spaces. Okay, so whatever it is for you, might be something different, but think about, what are your boundaries? And then what are you going to do if somebody breaks them? And that will create a safe space around you for this new wonderful version of yourself to exist. Okay, so you're creating this protective boundary around you. And that leaves me on to the next part, which is, unfortunately, you probably are going to have to expect some nonsense from people. Okay, and what I mean by that is, a lot of people don't understand bisexuality. Still in our society today, there are going to be comments. People are ignorant. They're going to probably ask you stupid things. They're probably going to say all kinds of nonsense to you. And when you first come out, it might be really, really difficult because sometimes we're not prepared for it. But I just want to let you know that you are not alone. You don't have to put up with it. Again, remember those boundaries. If you would like some detailed guidance on how to deal with that very thing, then check out this video. I would highly, highly recommend it. But the next thing that I would say is, be aware of the stages of coming out. Okay, so a lot of the time we think, okay, we're going to come out and then it's over. But a lot of the time there are stages. Okay, so for example, there might be the stage of coming out where you feel really, really elated, right? You'll have so much adrenaline in your body. Okay, you'll feel almost high. Okay, but then that will pass and it drops. Okay, so a lot of people, they feel really, really tired and they're like, oh my God, I don't know why I feel so down. Yeah, it's because all of that adrenaline is just dropped. Okay, it's completely normal. The next thing that might happen is fear. So we come out, we've exposed ourselves, and then suddenly we go, oh no, I've made a mistake. I really want to go back. Yeah, but you can't go back. And so you get really, really anxious. The next stage might be the anticlimax. Okay, so a lot of the time we have this big kind of wave, this big roller coaster of coming out, all the adrenaline, and then it drops and it's like this huge big thing. And then everybody just says, okay, that's fine. Yeah. And then life goes back to normal. Okay. This can feel really, really difficult because we're like, we've just been through this huge big deal and everybody's moved on and forgotten about it. Right. So that can be a thing. And again, what I would say is oftentimes this happens when we haven't done the inner work first. You see? So when we haven't thought about how do I want my life to change? What boundaries do I want? What is the part of me that I actually want to express? Like, what is it I want to do? And what is it I want to be able to express more? Like all of that stuff. If you haven't done that, what often happens is this anticlimax where everything goes back to normal and you feel like, well, nothing in my life has changed. Okay. Whatever your experience is, just don't worry if you have different kind of like peaks and troughs along the way. Okay. Coming out is not a kind of set moment in time. I would say that coming out really is a lifelong practice. It's really, really, for me, about waking up every morning, listening into my body, listening into my authentic self and saying, what do I authentically want to do today? What would bring me pleasure? What would bring me joy? What situations do I really enjoy? What situations do I really not enjoy? What kind of people do I love to be around and what people do I not like to be around? And just giving that to myself every single day as far as I can, that is what it's all about for me. So wherever you are on this lifelong journey, I hope that you are able to express more and more of that authentic joy in yourself every single day. If you would like to know more about bisexuality, then check out this video. And if you would like to hear about my coming out story in more detail, then check out this playlist. I will speak to you again very soon. Bye for now.